Hey guys, Time Itself here. I've been hearing this term thrown around, and I think I need to talk about it a little bit. And it's not just because I like being technically correct, although I do enjoy that, the best kind of correct. It's that I think it downplays the real issue that people have, and by ignoring it, blaming it on something else, I think it distracts from actually trying to solve the problem. It's like blaming the ghost camper when he wasn't camping, he wasn't ghost, and you just didn't have a UAV up. It wasn't actually the problem, you just felt like blaming that. And in this case, I think there is a problem, but by calling it this, we don't really call attention to what the problem is. And so the term is panic knife. So, after I get stopped on my little rampage here, I'm going to show you an example of what panic knifing is. So I blame this one on having been sniping with a variable zoom scope earlier in the day. My thumb was a little bit tenser than normal, so you'll see here I come in and I jump up and away from the guy and swing my knife, and I just give him an easy kill. And that's what a panic knife is. Uncontrolled tensing up of the thumb, so you press down on that thumbstick and knife. And almost always it's going to result in that, giving the enemy an easy kill. Because you're usually not going to be in place to get the knife. You're not going to be in range because you didn't intend to do it. Normally you'd expect a panic knife to only result in a kill when you were already far too close. If you're getting in melee range before the gunfight starts, that's your fault for getting that close to start with. You gotta be a little bit wider on those corners as you come around and check them. And when you do get knifed, most of the time it's going to be because you actually got knifed, or in this case double knifed. That's just a little scary to watch. The problem with Black Ops is that the guns have less damage, more recoil, and there's some lag issues going on it seems, and so fights tend to happen closer. But the big one for me, as you can see in the clips for a montage I was thinking about making, was that knifing is simply inconsistent. And even if it worked as intended, whoever has the better connection or host normally wins. You're better off trying to win with bullets than you are with knives, even when you do get that close. Maybe it's me trying to lead with the knife lunge sometimes, and then I don't get it. But I would just blame Black Ops at this point. So when you say you lost to a panic knifer, it's like saying you lost to a button masher in a fighting game. If you have any clue what's going on, that normally shouldn't happen. So I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that the majority of situations where someone yells panic knifer aren't actually panic knives at all. Remember, if you had time to shoot bullets, the other guy had time to push the knife button. No, instead it's Black Ops' messed up melee system and the need for people who run tactical to somehow justify it. And so here we get into the heart of the issue that I really feel strongly about, and that is that console controllers suck as input devices. So this is a figure showing the lost workdays charged per OSHA incident rate for amputation to hands and feet. Yeah, that was a little random to pull out, but I want to point something out, and that is that while your thumb and index finger are considered pretty important, you need your other fingers too, and they're pretty useful as well. Console controller designers don't seem to have figured this point out. It's not just that the thumbsticks are somewhat awkward for aiming, it's that your thumbs and your index fingers are doing absolutely everything. The controller is actually what's getting in the way of you playing the game the way you want to. Personally, I find this difference less pronounced in Call of Duty games than I do in Halo games. So much so that back in Halo 2 on the original Xbox, I got a controller with completely reprogrammable thumbsticks and buttons, no turbo though, that had the X, Y, and A, B buttons on the middle and ring fingers, as you can see in the picture there. And while the thumbsticks weren't quite as nice as the original Xbox controller, having those buttons down there was enough of an advantage for me that once I learned how to play with it, I liked using it more than the normal controller. Keep in mind that Halo was a game where melee was pretty common, and there was another thing called the combo. I'm not going to go into it too much, but you'd hold the plasma pistol charged, and you'd let the plasma bolt fly, and it'd go pretty slowly. And the idea would be to swap over to a battle rifle or even a pistol and headshot the guy as that plasma bolt hit him, taking his shields down. It was almost like an instant kill when it worked. The trickiest part was that on a normal Xbox controller, that meant moving your thumb off the aiming joystick to swap weapons and then moving it back and staying on target the entire time. And God help you if you didn't want to jump at the same time you swapped weapons, instead just a second sooner or later. It wasn't going to happen with a normal Xbox controller. So recently I've been running around with an M60 using scout and a pistol, swapping to my secondary to run around and then swapping back to the M60 primary when I wanted to kill something. And a lot of times when I wanted to go prone or just crouching as I got to my position, it got to be really tricky handling the controller appropriately. There are even places out there that will modify normal Xbox 360 controllers to do similar things, get the XY buttons down on your middle and ring fingers. So what does that mean that Call of Duty should be doing? Well, ostensibly this should stay a shooter game, so having a weapon that is only a knife secondary I don't think fits very well in the context of trying to be a shooter. There are a variety of suggestions out there that all fit into the category of making the knife less effective when you're in a fight. Halo style, takes more hits to the front, you deal damage proportional to your health, the knife animation gets restarted if you take damage. They're all taking pretty much the same approach. I get the feeling that Treyarch tried to make up for the funny knife mechanics in Black Ops simply by giving the knife a longer lunge, but that really didn't work out and they had to shorten it, and so the weird knife mechanics became more apparent. And honestly, I think just reducing the knife range is what I've seen from a little bit of COD XP about Modern Warfare 3 is the most simple way to start addressing the problem. Arguing for different control schemes or layouts or restrictions only serves to benefit the people who are willing to pay more to have their controllers modified and really doesn't address the game mechanics. No, the knife is a weapon of stealth and last resort in the Call of Duty series, and that's where it should stay. Not something on par with a shotgun for close range combat. I want to thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you didn't see my video yesterday on Hanoi about flanking and rushing, I really think you should check it out. I put a lot of work into it and I think it turned out really well. Anyway, I'll see you guys later.